What it do, homies? We back with some more GBB25 Loopstation category. This time we got Martin BENATI versus NILS. Let's go ahead, shut up, turn it up.
What's up, GBB? How you feeling? Da, 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 da.
Come on. Wait a minute.
Hi, NILS. I love you, but come on. It's time to beat your ass a second time. Pocket full, we in a rush now. Hide and seek, it's an eruption. Watch your back, it's gonna cost you. Hide your head, cause I'm the red dye. So sick, respect the murder. Stick brick, my left eye, avoid it. Witness the money man, I'm much late, but you can't hear when I'm coming. I'm Luffy, I gear 5 on Goofy's like, anyone said I'm all in a package. Don't get your hopes up, you're average, buddy. As I walk to the party, I'm setting the tone, I'm picking your bones, I walk upon your dead body. I sworn the Bible to end my rivals. Follow me, it's a renaissance. Follow me like a Metatron. Caterpillar, my wings on fire. It's been my way since kindergarten. Hey, it's been my way since kindergarten.
Kindergarten? How we say it?
All right, hands in the air. Follow me, it's a renaissance. Follow me like a Metatron. All right. Odore.
What? This is insane.
Follow me, it's a renaissance. Follow me like a Metatron.
What? Hey, man. Hey, Mark got some soul, bro. Nah, the funkiness, the groove. See, we are dealing with a master of composition right here. He knew exactly where to cut it. The chops that he put on his performance when he stepped away and started talking more but to NILS, but then it continued to keep chopping itself. That was beautiful. Everything that he did, even the setup was so groove. And and his falsetto. Nah, hold on, man. This man got soul right here. I enjoyed every bit of that. I don't even know, honestly, y'all. I don't even know if I could find any fault. I was too captivated in the groove. And you know, when he when he did that, whoo, you know what I mean? I felt that. I felt it. And that's good. That means you gave me substance in your performance. The way that I felt like I just went through an entire experience. You know what I mean? We sit through every loop stationer has the same amount of time, you know what I mean? But you come from them feeling different. And a lot of that really just depends on how much value they were able to add in their entire track from start to finish. If it feels like oftentimes where I'm watching these, I feel like they went on longer. Sometimes they do, but then I'm just like, wow, you went on the same time he did, but I got way more from you. And I think a lot of that comes down to composition. right? How well are you executing each one of these phrases? And when you do, is there a sense of completion before you move on to the next? Otherwise, I'm just sitting here wanting more, right? From the chops to the to the filters to the groove, even the bass, everything was executed masterfully, right? And his falsetto is lovely. He even when he just took the time to just talk, he made sure that it had that nice little that double vocal right underneath that. That way, it's like everything that everything Martin was doing was layered with something, right? It wasn't just raw, straight at your face, man. That was a wonderful performance, very unique. All right, good stuff.
Tres.
There's that LFO sound. I was talking about that the last battle. I think with Yas Weed. Atmospheric. All right, weekend.
To run right.
Drowning in my sleep is the only way I have to exist. I don't know about you, but I'd rather stay in limerence forever and over and over and over again and over and over and over again.
Okay, you know what? Niles, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Niles. His performance, definitely euphoric, definitely kind of vibes. I think he's feeling himself. I think he feels good about the performance, and he should. The entire time when he was singing, there is times where, and I want to call his style peekaboo, or at least this set that he just did, the song that he just did. I'm gonna call that peekaboo, and the reason why is because the all of a sudden abrupt cutoffs of the sound effects, right? It could be I first started noticing it when he would start singing, right? And then he would immediately start drowning his vocals into reverb, right? You can see him turned up, just drowning it, but then he would just cut it off immediately. It's almost, kind of like peekaboo, right? Just boom, I'm here, then I'm not. So I was like, all right, cool. That's a good, nice vocal performance. But then he started replicating it throughout the whole entire, performance. And it wasn't just the vocals, it was just sounds that was kind of dropping in and out, right? Not only that, but think about leading up to the climax of the song, the way that the kick kind of came in, right? No riser, no type of setup, just the kick just comes in and it was like, right? Right, kick straight into the snare. It just peekaboo, kind of comes right on in there. Now, the thing about this style is that if you're going to do that without any type of buildup, right, the only thing constant you got going on here is, I think maybe the chords, he had the percussive that was going, standing, but the rest of it was kind of just peeking in and kind of peeking out. The thing about that is that your sound design has got to be, it's got to be good, right? Because that could create a nice jarring, it can create a jarring experience, right? If something's just kind of going in and coming out, going in and coming out. But somehow he was able to do that and make that very, very enjoyable, right? That's the peekaboo. That was a peekaboo round right there. Both of them had pretty strong rounds. I think as far as enjoyability, uniqueness, I actually think both of them was kind of unique. Martin just kind of took that first round from me, man. I wasn't expecting all that soul, that funk to come out. I could see you giving it to both, right? I really can, but I'm gonna give it to Martin for the first round. But now that was phenomenal.
Round 2, Martin Benetti is good to go. I said the trois, you say the deux.
His name is pretty
Let's
cool,
get to it.
Martin
In
Benetti.
trois.
Speak that German. Gotta layer that snare. That's a lot of low end.
Open your eyes, or you'll miss the shooting star. Please stay for a while. She's already gone too far. Don't leave just now. There's a chance it will come back while you are on my way. Hey, hey. Put on a smile. With you anything can heal. Please stay for a while. I don't wanna miss this feel. Or can we make it last? Or at least can we pretend just a little bit longer? No, don't you see? I'm running after the shadows of your lights after the noon. In the darkest nights, I think about that laughter we'll see soon. So come and hold me tight. Can't you see that I'm obsessed with you? Wasting no time now.
So going crazy.
Let's pretend a little longer.
So, you know, I call Martin the composition master, bro. You know what? I'm gonna go and take him. I mean, he's good at composition, but bro, his mastery over tempo is insane. First off, that kick pattern. Oh my goodness, bro. You might as well done set a land full of mines for yourself. Cause you over that, bro, I'm telling any other experienced person, it's good enough to go ahead and lay down the cape. Cool and everything. Right. It's another thing when you're layering it in, with your mouth and everything, you're listening to it. Right. And it's another thing when you're doing it digitally. Now, there's a charm to Martin's performance. And I think a lot of that is that all of them live off the grid. They really do for the most part. I don't think they might have a metronome that's playing in their headphones that we can't hear. But for the most part, they kind of live off the grid, which means that their beats, their sounds are unquantized, right? They don't sit on the grid. That's why people like lo-fi or or boom bap sometimes, right? You can shout out to Jay Dilla, right? The grandfather, if anything, the founder of lo-fi and everything. But unquantized. So when you hear that beat, that it's both a blessing and a curse. The curse comes from it's digitized. I guess it's all digitized. Actually, I think it's more of a blessing depending on kind of artist you are. But that kick, that sound serves as foundation. So now everything that you put above that needs to somehow complement this complicated kick pattern that you got going on in the background. And if you can pull it off, amazing. There's a couple other things you got to think of as well, right? So we have our main rhythms, right? And then we have our counter melodies, right? Sometimes we got to be polyrhythms, the rhythms that's playing together at the same time. You want to make sure that those don't clash. So generally, some of those elements needs to be a little bit more simple so the other elements can shine. It is possible for you to have complex melodies, one over another, one over another, one over another. We usually call that orchestration, right? When you're dealing with different timbres and stuff in there. But somehow Martin was able, if you go back to just the last 30 seconds of this, right? If you can listen to a single element and pull it out, right? Then that means he did his job, that it was distinctive enough to where the melody from another layer wasn't distracting you from hearing them. And then on top of that, he added even more vocal layers. Guys, it's very difficult to add layers over layers over layers, right? Without it sounding like an absolute hot mess. It could go quick so far. It could go to trash with just 2 layers if you don't know what you were doing. That was masterful. Tempo, his sense of tempo, his sense of composition, his sense of timing is insane, man. And he's just having fun. Guys, have I reacted to Martin before? I think I would have remembered this. I might have. I've been reacting to beatbox stuff for like 5 years now, but whew, that was crazy.
Nils is ready. Final round of the battle.
Honestly,
are you ready?
That sound like something So-So would have done. You know what I mean?
I say the tres, you say the dos and uno. Crowd in tres.
Must know this song. Sounds like a Zelda adventure. Or a Link adventure.
No way, no way. Why it hurts, still awake on September. Oh, find you away. I know why. Our eyes are supposed to stay blind. You find me your way. You know why. Our minds are supposed to stay calm. Just tell me why. I don't cry.
Okay.
In my living room while you're away. Time passes by. I'll deny all those things that you told me were lies. Right, stand on your side. Make ourselves collide. Stand on your side. great patterns surrounded by friends. Made me fly. I used to dare so high. Fall away. They're so high. Stay so kind. Be so kind. Till I cry.
Give me a nasty drop.
Spread your wings away. Wait till
What's Martin doing, bro?
I cry. Even though I'll deny to reveal all your shit. Under, whoa, everything turned inside.
Okay. I wasn't mad at that performance. Honestly, to tell you the truth, you know, I feel like when it comes to NILS, it almost kind of seems like the Loopstation secondary, right? That he puts a lot of emphasis into his vocal, his singing, and the effects on the singing. I mean, we really think about it outside of the reverb, and you know, he's got filters going on that's crazy. I think there's even some times in there where obviously you got distortion, but there was like a little bit of creative panning in there where it kind of went left and right. He keeps you on the edge of your seat, right? With his build up, because it almost like you expect a vicious drop, but really he just drops an enormous amount of vibes on you. You know what I mean? It's just like, boom, you know, something's about to come. Nope, it's just even more vibes. The percussive element, that was really nice, right? Definitely kind of give you more of that kind of jungle-ish kind of, you know, follow Rafiki, you know they way, you know, Simba type of thing. It's really percussion, very flavorful, went crazy on the absolute vocals, but I do not think that was enough to be Martin, right? So I would actually give him a round. I will give him 1 round because actually, no, I got 2-1. That's what I got. All right.
And that's your witness.
It can go both ways.
Speakers. Let's try that. Tough position. Our judges, Lou for nil. 2 and the 1 going to our judges in 3, 2, 1. Give it up for Martin.
It was unanimous. Okay. You know, Martin's both rounds, which is absolute phenomenal. You know, when you have 2 phenomenal rounds and you're the opponent, both of your rounds got to be phenomenal as well. Because if you mess up even once, or, you know, I'm very interested. Somebody got to give me a sheet on what the judges, how they judge and everything. Because you can't just be off styles, right? They got to judge on the technical ability and the creativeness and everything. Because, and I'm pretty sure this isn't a thing, and I hope it isn't a thing. Have we had a vibes, you know what I mean, like euphoric kind of winner of GBB, right? As far as the Loopstation, who won just off vibes, like future trance, future bass type stuff, right? Millennium, if you guys listen to Millennium, that type of stuff, everything. Or they all been kind of funky, you know, high energy type of winners? Because that'd be very interesting, kind of looking at the history of the winners and what their styles are to kind of get a good sense of, you know, what have the judges been looking for? You know, because I don't know. You know, I'm not a beatboxer. I look at these from just a musician standpoint because I play the saxophone. You know, music is music. You know, it's a universal language. Even if I don't know how to beatbox, I do know how to hear. I do know how to listen. You know what I mean? It's a stupid thing to say, but all right, y'all. To the next one. Dave's out.